For decades, the U.S. relationship with Zambia was one centered on aid. The United States has provided billions of dollars of assistance to Zambia, helping the country reach HIV epidemic control, contributing to a 20-year extension and increase in life expectancy, slashing malaria deaths, and truly impacting positively the lives of every Zambian alive today. But last year, when we paused funding to review our assistance programs, so much of Zambia's health system began to crumble almost overnight. Despite over $7 billion of health assistance since 2000 and the hard work of many Zambians alongside us, that crumbling system revealed that while we thought we were building capacity, successive Zambian governments had not built systems. Too often, Zambian officials and leaders abdicated their responsibilities, letting the United States pay for health care, while officials diverted government funds to their own pockets across successive governments. Last year, I stood at a table and I shed tears before the world when I announced that the United States was cutting $50 million in health assistance. After years of pleading, I could no longer stand by while Zambian government refused to stop or to take action to hold people accountable for the systematic and nationwide theft of U.S.-provided medicines, while the Zambian citizens for whom they were intended went without. 1 year later, not a single notable person has been arrested since February of last year. Not a single notable prosecution has even begun. After last year's pause of our assistance, we resumed almost all of our health assistance. Over $400 million in assistance, including $75 million in medications alone. We continue to pay the salaries for over 23,000 Zambian healthcare workers, as we have done for decades. That is the legacy of America's support to the Zambian people. Now, I know that there have been alarmist allegations recently, but let me be clear. Any suggestion that the United States would withhold critical life-saving healthcare support from those Zambians whose lives, whose health depend on it, unless we get critical minerals, is disgusting. It is absolutely and patently false. In reality, since October, my government has offered over $2 billion in additional grant assistance for health and economic growth to Zambia. But we can no longer accept empty promises. The future has to look different. Zambian government must also increase Zambian funding, staffing, ownership of its systems. This isn't to impose our will. It's the only way that we know for Zambia to truly own a sustainable healthcare system and to enable robust growth. It's the only way we know to ensure that the system serves the people while finally breaking the pattern of aid dependence. Since January, however, like with so many of our other overtures to the Zambian government over the years across successive governments, we've had effectively no substantive engagement from Zambian officials to move these efforts forward. Our calls go ignored, questions unanswered, meetings canceled, leaving us without even opportunities to speak, much less to engage in substantive deliberations. Instead of continuing to languish without engagement, the actual funding under our health MOU should have started this month. Instead, we've reached April 30th, still cobbling together funds for mismatched projects without an implementation plan to guide us forward under Zambian leadership, much less a finalized MOU that provides the strategic approach. We know that the Zambian budget today cannot even afford to pay the social services that are being provided, not to mention the increased healthcare funding or the myriad other huge budget commitments that seem to be pledged every day. So something has to change. Something has to change if Zambia will ever meet its full potential or be able to sustainably provide services to its own people. At the same time, the Zambian government's own reports reveal that every year this country loses over $4 billion in dirty money flowing to East Asia. That's Zambian money that's not captured in this economy, that doesn't benefit the Zambian people, that doesn't contribute to the budget. If taxed, that would bring an additional $1 billion for the Zambian government to fund healthcare, to fund education, social services, development. Every year, hundreds of millions of dollars of Zambian government funds are lost to the Zambian people through